Hey, I'm Steph, and today I'm speaking to one of Manly's true locals. He's been on the surfing scene for 20 years and holds a respectable World Tour statistics, as well as dominating plenty events. He's an inspiration to many who know him. He is Richie Lovett. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks so much for chilling out with me.
Well, thank you, we're all quite relaxed here.
I know, it's comfortable, I like it.
That's good.
Now, I've written some questions for you, so they're a surprise,
Sure.
so be ready for them.
Okay, far away.
Okay, so you're from Manly.
I am.
So how do you feel that Manly has been declared a National Surfing Reserve?
About time, but I guess good things always happen in due course. And if there was ever going to be one beach in Sydney that was deserving of being a national reserve, it's Manly. There's so much history here, the depth of talent that's come out of this beach, and that have gone on to do great things in not only surfing but on the surfing tours. It really is an iconic beach. It's well known around the world, yeah, there's history here. There's legends that come from here, and it feels good when it was finally announced that it'd be a national reserve. I was really happy about it, and I kind of went, cool, about time.
Cool, tick, accomplished in life. What are some of the best memories of surfing in Manly?
You know what? My very first memory that just came to mind then was the very first wave that I ever caught. And it was here at Manly, and my grandfather lived just up the hill at Fairlife, and my brother and I used to go and visit them on weekends. And I have this memory of my grandfather walking down the beach with two surfboards under his arm, and me and my brother, paddling out, and him swimming out with us, and he turned around and pushed me onto my first wave, and it was literally directly out front of where we're sitting. And I was a 7-year-old kid, and I just jumped up instinctively. That's what you do. You saw other guys surfing, so you went, okay, I've got to jump up on this surfboard, and I did that, and I rode this first wave all the way to sand, and from that moment on I was hooked on surfing. So Manly was really the place where I was introduced and initiated into surfing. That's my most fondest and distinct memory. I've got a lot of other memories. It's a lot of sort of pinnacle moments have happened down here. Progressing from like a grommet into someone who was aspiring to be a professional surfer, and then having
like hair down to here as a grommet.
Yeah, full
shaggy hair,
bleached blonde, like almost green. Like I just did whatever I could to get to the beach and spend as much time at the beach as I could. It was my life. It's all I wanted to do. So I knew very early on that I wanted to make surfing my life and my career. And it was also nice to have that recognition from the other pros that I looked up to on the beach. And I remember one day Rob Bain came up to me and went, you really should think seriously about becoming a pro surfer. And I knew I wanted to do it then, and that was kind of the little push I needed.
Yeah.
And that afternoon, because I was sitting on the wall watching him surf, just going, oh my goodness, that's just the most amazing thing. That's what I want to do,
Yeah.
And so he walked out of the water, told me that, and I just couldn't get home fast enough. I told Mum and Dad, and they went, oh.
Yeah, it's like uplifting.
Yeah, it was
like you can do anything.
Yeah, I really did. I felt like I was 10 foot and bulletproof, and that was just that little final nudge I needed to go, this is what I'm going to do.
Have you told him? Because of maybe his words that sort of...
I think I have, because I was fortunate enough to do the tour when Rob was on tour as well. There was sort of a changeover. I was just getting on as he was finishing his tour. And I think over a few beers I may have told him, but it's probably time to relive that story again and remind him.
Oh, I'm sure he'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's,
you can watch it on surf.com.
Yeah,
don't worry. I'll send him the link.
Okay, cool.
What are some of the changes you've seen over the years as far as equipment, crowds, technology are concerned?
Okay, that question's pretty loaded. In terms of the beachfront itself, I've seen a lot of things change. A lot of new building, a lot of money has been injected into the area. Real estate wasn't that expensive when I was a kid down here, and now, unless you got a couple $1 million in your back pocket, you're really not going to set up camp here. So There's a lot more retail and business here now, which is really good. You know, it generates a lot of interest and a lot of money into the community, so it's a great thing. The unfortunate thing that's come with the sort of additional population, I guess, is the increase in the crowd numbers too.
Are you talking about like other back?
I'm just talking about, you know, in the surf generally. You know, you'll come down here on any morning and there's 200 guys from corner to corner. But that's just, I don't think it's an isolated thing with Manly. I think it's happening sort of everywhere. It's the whole coastal living attraction that people want to be there. So, and in terms of surfboard technology and things like that, I mean, the surfboard revolution is you know, gone through a number of changes. The boards have obviously gotten a lot thinner and shorter, and I mean, we could talk all day about how boards have changed, and they're still changing. You know, what Kelly Slater's riding now is completely different to what he was riding 2 years ago, so he does get that reaction often. So, you know, the equipment thing's fun. I guess what we see nowadays is more diversity in the lineup too. It's not just shortboards, it's shortboards, longboards, stand-up paddle boards, you know, you name it. There's, you know, that kind of craft is out there, and more recently there's been a couple of finless boards out there, so...
Something to watch out for.
Something to watch out for.
Can you tell us a little bit about Manly Surfing Festival?
I can indeed. It was, this is the second year that we're having the Manly Surfing Festival, and the first year was fantastic. It was an event that sort of brought a whole different bunch of people together, and I guess the underlying theme of the whole event is surfing and celebrating Manly and celebrating the beach lifestyle and the beach culture, and throwing a little bit of competition in there as well to kind of spice things up. And the good thing is about the festival is that we cover all the different codes in surfing as well: stand-up paddleboarding, longboarding, finless, shortboarding, and it celebrates you know, everyone from the older guys to the real young guys. Yeah. And those guys have an opportunity to get out there and have a bit of fun and compete together. And you know, we often compete in our own separate clubs, but this event brings everyone together. So it's almost like it's one big celebrated event, and so it's not just
no competition.
Well, I mean, there is surfers in general.
And friendly.
It is, and surfers by and by are competitive by nature. Yeah. You know, and then you obviously throw in a couple of the guys who have, you know, done it as a career, and you know, the gloves come off when they get out there, so to speak. So. You know, that's just the daytime activities, and then you've got the nighttime activities as well. There's lots of parties and you know, art galleries and fashion parades, and you know, all sorts of things that go on. And it's just a really good 4-day event celebrating the lifestyle that we live down here.
Sweet. So what can people do to get involved?
Come on down. Come on down, be a part of, if you want to compete, you can enter to compete in these events. If you just want to come out and watch it, you can do that. You can go and check out the movies. There's a bunch of surf movies on down at the Manly Theatre. And there's all these sort of peripheral events that happen. So they've got old combis, and you know, there's everything. There's a demo day on Sunday, so there's going to be heaps of boards to try, and you know, it's just going to be a family atmosphere, so come on down.
Now, you have had a few ups and downs in your life, going back to 2005, but we're not going to go back there. How is life now for you?
Well, life's really good. You know, we're nearly 5 years on from that little journey. I call it a journey that I have with cancer. Most people, you know, call it that. But everything's going really well. You know, I've left that life that I had on the tour and competing as a professional surfer, and I've moved into the next phase of life, which is, you know, I've just got a young family now, and I get to spend more time at home with my beautiful wife. So, you know, life's pretty good. It took a little bit of adjusting, getting into work, from not having my hours governed whatsoever. You know, the only thing I really needed to do was turn up at a contest and go on a heat. Everything else was sort of, you know, I got to do some training and this, that, and the other. But you know, now I'm accountable. I have to go and be in an office some days. And, but the good thing is, I still get to touch and be around the things that I love, and that's surfing and surfboards and fin design and all those sort of things.
Lovely. So what's the future for you? What does that hold?
Difficult to say at this point. I do know that I'm not going to be that 9 to 5 guy in an office like 5 days a week, you know.
I don't think any professional surfer can.
That's
not a bad thing at all.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing either, and I think these days it's almost more productive to not be that guy and not be stuck in that sort of atmosphere. There's more opportunity, more you know, things that I can do when I'm not in the office. So for me, it's really trying to find that balance between working and still maintaining fitness and still having fun out the surf and devoting time to the family, you know, just balancing all those things. And when I actually went through my cancer journey, I kind of made some promises to myself that I wouldn't become this certain person, which was locked down into working, and because it's what I want to do by nature. Like I try and do things the best that I can, and I throw everything into it, almost to the point where it becomes a little obsessive. So for me personally, my challenge is to balance that and not do that, and make sure that, you know, when I come home I don't open the computer again. So it doesn't always happen, and you know, life's always struggling.
It's okay. Now, we were just talking about surfing before. What was the last wave? Like, where did you last surf? What was the last wave you rode like? How does it feel to be in the ocean surfing? Because you were told you will not be able to surf.
Yeah, it was.
Look at you now.
I know.
What up?
I know, and you know, I didn't believe it for a minute when they told me that I wasn't going to surf again, and I think you know, the medical field, when you're going through something like that, they're always going to deliver worst case scenario, and they're almost obligated to. So I knew I was going to be in the ocean in some way, shape or form, and I far exceeded the level which I thought that I would get to, so I'm happy. But I'm not content, because I'm never content. So getting back to the question, the last wave that I rode was in fact at Mona Vale. A couple of days ago, yeah. I just had to do a little memory recall then, and believe it or not, it was on a finless surfboard.
Right. So what do you think about the current World Tour? Who do you reckon will win 2010?
I would, if I was a betting man, which I sometimes am, I would put everything that I own on Kelly Slater winning the world title this year.
My future husband. Good, yeah?
I reckon your future husband.
Whoa.
I think
just joking.
He's just got too big a lead at the moment. And coming
he just won Portugal, didn't he?
He just won Portugal. Coming into the next two events, Puerto Rico, which I think will suit him, and then Pipeline. He's arguably the best surfer out there. So he's not going to lose. And my thoughts on the tour, I really like the change that it's gone through, to be honest with you. I think it's unfortunate in a way that the numbers had to get cut down. And there was a few guys that sort of had their life on tour cut short, but in saying that, they have the opportunity to get back in. But I just think the level of surfing from the first event, which was at Trestles, when the new format came in, we just saw the level of surfing jump up again, and it's just been incredible. So I think they've made the right choice, and we're getting the right results from it.
Finally, any tips for a happy surfing life?
Well, yes. The more time you spend in the water, the happier you're going to be.
Simple as that. Just get out there.
Every time I go in the water, I come out and without fail, I've got a smile on my face. Like, I'm a better person to be around. And I really notice it when I don't go in the water. And that's when, you know, I know that I need my surf fix, or my water fix, is that, you know, I start getting a little short-tempered. And I know it's when my wife starts going, hey, I think you should go for this. Get out there now.
It's so good to have such an understanding wife to be like, whoa, someone needs a surf.
No, she's incredible. She supported me through my whole career and all of, you know, the stuff that I've gone through. So, I'm a very lucky man.
I usually need food when I'm angry. Someone give a food.
Food and surf.
Give a food.
Food and surfing.
Well, Richie Lovett, thank you so much for hanging with me at Shore Club.
Pleasure. Thank you.
When life gave you lemons, you obviously turned them into lemonade. So you are living the dream, my friends.
Thank you.
No worries. Thanks very much.